What's up, guys? Sean here from Team Low Expectations with another Adamancipator deck profile. This weekend I played in a 3v3. Shout out to my teammates CJ and Burak. Brought Adamancipator there. I expected a lot of new stuff from Bode, and I was just really comfortable with this deck for quite some time now, so I wanted to bring it to a tournament, see how I could do with it. I personally ended up going 5-1 with the deck, so I was really happy with some of the choices I made, and I just wanted to show it off to you guys. Start with the main deck. The simple stuff, 3 of each of the Researcher, Seeker, and Analyzer. They're your excavators. You really just want to see them, obviously. I was seeing combination of these two like all day, so it feels really good. I'd love to see them. Your best extender in the deck is definitely Parallel Exceed. He is a free Gallant Granite, he can be a free Dweller, and he's just free level 4s, which you have a bunch of level 2 tuners, so he helps extend your plays a lot. Really good, was happy with playing him. Next for the excavation targets, we have a 3 Supplier, 3 Guardian, 3 Doki, and 2 Dragite. Play 2 of this because it's the only draw on your deck, so it's nice to see. It's level 4 and it makes your Synchro a negate. Doki is a really good normal summon just because he can be linked off into Almirage, which can trigger your Parallel Exceed if he gets hand trapped. So you can also put one of these in Grave just so you can reborn it back later with Signs. And then Supplier is obviously really good, helps chain block, gets you a Guardian to hand. That's why it's like 20 bucks. Guardian, you're not really trying to normal unless you have a handful of like Researcher and Seeker, because you can just go normal Guardian, special Researcher, special Seeker, and just go off from there. But those are our excavates. Really happy with those numbers. I think I maybe whiffed like twice the whole tournament, so and it's bound to happen. I'm okay with it. Our bricks, Adhara and Zombie. Honestly, not bad bricks to see. Adhara, if you open it, you can just special summon it for free. We play him so we can make Nat Beast. And Plague Spreader is just really good in this deck. He's a level 2 tuner, so he synergizes really well. And then the cost of like specialing him from Grave can really help because we stack the deck. We can stack with a rock and then use one of our tuners. Excavate into a guaranteed hit. So neither of these are really bad to open. Both can be summoned off Hulk even if they're in your hand, so like again, not the end of the world if you see them. The bad bricks, Dark Magician and Red Eyes. If you're gonna see them, want them to look nice, shout out to Owen, these are his. Thanks for letting me play them. Only saw 1 brick at a time too, so I was actually pretty happy with the tournament. Didn't see multiple pieces. That's it for the monsters. Now the spells. I called Parallel the best extender in the deck. He probably is, but Signs is a close second just because it's a reborn in stack, lets you play. Make sure your guys will hit, and nowhere in this card does it say once per turn. It's like the best extender the deck could have asked for. Gives you a lot of recovery too. Top decking it, super helpful. The 1 actual just monster reborn. That way, if the opponent has something in Grave, take it. Just good card. Helps us extend. Red Eyes Fusion. Don't mind opening it. It's not the end of the world. We can put it back with Plague Spreader. That way Verte's still alive. And actually won a match by going Red Eyes Fusion, Chain, Droplet, send Red Eyes Fusion as cost. Just won me the game. Dragoon over DPE all day. That was like the biggest decision I made before going into the tournament. Glad I picked Dragoon. I chose no hand traps in the main, just board breaking cards. I really respected the Drytron matchup, so I wanted to see these for that. And Droplet was MVP all day, helped me kill people faster than I should have been able to. Just really need the card. Shout out to Mark. Mark let me play his Droplets. Otherwise, I probably would have played a different deck. And then 2 last spots in the main are Duster and Order. We play like 10 spells. The 3 Dark Ruler, the 3 Droplet, Reborn, Duster, and the Signs. So maybe a little more than 10. But the thing is, if I'm seeing them going first, I'm going to use the spells that I need, and then IO. I don't need to shotgun IO. I'm not going to shotgun IO. I'm going to use it if it's like worth it, and then I just outgrind them from there. 40 cards in the main. Really happy with the main. It did really well. I have my matchups written down, so I'll go over them after the profile, but I figured you guys would want to see this first. We'll go into the extra deck next. We have the 1 Red Eyes Dark Dragoon. Really glad I played this over the DPE and Scythe lock. I played against a bunch of DPE decks, and Dragoon just outclasses DPE. Pop your DPE, negate its effect. This helps you finish games so much faster, so I'm really happy I played it. The Synchros, Nat Beast, Raptite, Dragite, and Crystal Wing. Nat Beast Turbo is what I was jokingly calling this deck for a while. That's why I played the Adhara. This just shits on so many decks. Drytron really can't play through this. It's really hard for them. They need to have like a really good name. And plus, you don't just make Nat Beast, you make Nat Beast plus negates, which is enough to seal up the game. Dragite's crazy. Just bouncing the boards non-target. It's a Dragoon out. It's a spell trap negate. It's just a really good card. And then I chose Crystal Wing over Savage because I like that it destroys. The Omni negate potential of Savage is nice, but I have Dragoon for my Omni. Crystal Wing is just... Getting bodies off the field is really important to me, so I'm glad I played that. Next Big C's, Gallant, Dweller. Oh, shout out to CJ, by the way, for the Crystal Wing. Gallant just gets you any card in your deck, really. They're all rocks. It's kind of like a must negate, but a lot of times they just let it go through. And Dweller just shits on certain matchups, so really good utility card, and the deck can make it for free, like Parallel Exceed. And then the links. We have the 1 Almirage and the 1 Link Spider as our link 1s. Almirage helps you play through hand traps and just extend generally by putting rocks in the graveyard that you can reborn and stuff like that. I played against a Dogmatica player where this came up super huge. Like, he searched out Punishment, and I just stuck Almirage and left it on the field while I comboed. Link Spider is for respecting Nib. If I think they're on Nib or if I know they play Nib, I'll hold my Parallaxes, wait for the Nib, and then go Link Spider, Parallaxes, Gallant Granite. Just a good call. It didn't come up, but I'm glad I had it in there in case it happened. That's it for the 1s. The 2s, we have Verte, IP, and Hulk. Verte is obviously busted, not much to say about it. Same thing with Hulk. He gets like really anything you need. He can get you one of your Adamancipators, and then you can put it in grave and reborn it, so just a lot of value overall. IP is mainly there to respect like Zeus. If I think they're just going to try and Zeus my board away without using monster effects like along the way, I'll make sure I put an IP on the board. It's also nice for just turning like your Verte into like negates with Apo and stuff like that in weird hands. And obviously like the Unicorn spin, just really good. Unicorn, the only link 3 we play. Really good for going into Talker too, just great utility card. And then Talker just helps close the games. And Appaloosa, which again, shout out to CJ. Let me play that. Summoned it one time and it got negated, but hey, it looked nice when it did. It's not always like the end goal. Like, you don't want to end on Apo all the time, but it is nice IPing into one just to make sure you get all the value out of your monsters. And in certain matchups, it's really good. But that is it for the extra. Now to the side deck. I know I've been shouting a lot of people out, but they let me use a lot of cards for this, so. Burak's 1 Droll, and my 2 gold ones. Again, respect the Drytron matchup a lot. In theory, this is pretty good against Tri-Brigade, because it makes sure they don't get to Revolt. So, pretty good sided in those matchups. The only other hand trap I had anywhere in my deck was Shifter in the side. This is just a blowout card against so many decks, and my deck happens to be able to play through it pretty easily. I can side out the Reborns for the Shifters, which I don't always do because it's kind of like the same theory with the IO, where like if I see Shifter plus the Reborns, the Shifter is a lot more value in terms of just getting a free turn from my opponent. So I'll do that and just have the dead Reborn in my hand and save it for later. But at that point, I get to combo freely, and it just ends up being worth the trade. Twin Twisters. two of them. I played this mainly because I wanted to respect decks like Flunder and stuff. I want to hit their field spell in the standby phase, field spell in the trap if they searched it out, and just general back row decks I don't have a great time against. I just wanted to make sure I had like some good outs in the side. Then Evenly was a great card to side. With the new prison card that protects back row decks, I wanted to make sure I clean out some back row decks. And like this plus Droplet or Dark Ruler just shits on combo decks, so really happy with it. It came up. And then Reboot. Reboot came up against a Mystic Mind player. Very thankful I played it. It doesn't always come in. Sometimes it feels like a wasted side slot, but when it pays off, it is like justifies its spot in the side every time. And then the final card was 3 Judgment. My deck is really afraid of Dark Ruler and Droplet, so just got to side in something to turn it off. We have the IO as 1 card against those already in deck, so then post side we have like 4 cards to really turn that stuff off. Shifter actually helps play against Droplet too because they can't send to graveyard, so we have a bunch of ways to just make sure we don't get our board broke. That's it for the side deck. Match report. Round 1, I 2-1'd Tri-Brigade DP. I won the die roll. He hand-trapped the hell out of me, and I couldn't really play. So I pass back to him. He combos, isn't able to kill me, and ends on a board of like Apo plus the bounce. And I want to say DP. I just Dark Roller him, break the whole board, and put up Dragoon. So he's not able to bounce back, and then I kill him the next turn. Game 2, he puts up a crazy board that I can't break. I just didn't see side cards. And then game 3, I opened Shifter, Judgment, and combo. So I went Shifter. He didn't negate it, and I comboed off, set Judgment, passed his game. Round 2, I got O2'd by Drytron. I won the die roll. Went first. Didn't put up like a crazy board. I don't remember what it was, but it wasn't like too impressive. He opened 3 Drytron names in Natasha and Ready Fusion, so he just broke my board, made Zeus, and I scooped it up from there. Game 2, I put up a better board, but he Dark Roller evenly me, so it happens, it's Yu-Gi-Oh! Round 3, I played against Mystic Mind. I lost the die roll. Game 1, he opens Mind Barrier plus back row, so I just scooped it up. I didn't really want to dig for IO just for him to have like a Dark Bribe by the time I saw it. Game 2, Nat Beast Turbo, he can't play. Game 3, I evenly him, set Judgment. I had a combo, but I just didn't want to play into his last set because I figured it was like a demise of the land, which I ended up being right on. So I set the Judgment, passed to him. I top deck Twin. He lets it go through. It ended up being the demise of the land. I had the Judgment set just in case it was, so I could play safely, and I just killed him from there. Round 4 was against Dogmatica Shadal. I lost the die roll. He didn't open too strong. He searched like floor and punishment. I ended up just making Almirage and then comboing under Almirage, making his like punishment dead. Which he could have sent Entis and then that like gotten at least some value out of it, but I just don't think he saw that. Game 2, he bricked, and then I just did the same thing. I just made Almirage, no TK'd him. Then round 5, I played against ABC, something I wasn't expecting to see. I lost the die roll. Game 1, I didn't have the hand to break his board, like no going second cards really. And so we go to game 2. Shifter just kind of won me the game. And then game 3, he puts up his board. I open Red Eyes Fusion evenly, Researcher, and Red Eyes Fusion. I go Red Eyes Fusion. He doesn't have the Ash. I chain Droplet, sending Red Eyes Fusion and Guardian from my hand, negating his Buster and IP. And then I just went from there. I Dragoon, broke the board, and just I got Dragoon up to 4K, and ABC can't out it. So going in round 6, I played against Drytron. I won that die roll. Game 1, I made Nat Beast, Crystal Wing, and Dragoon. It was enough to get me there. Nat Beast is really good against Drytron because, like, it puts them on having, like, honestly, I don't know what it puts them on having. They need to be able to, like, Droplet it or Dark Ruler it because they can't Natasha it because you won't let them use the Ritual spell, and just Fafnir isn't big enough to get over it. They have to just, like, Link Climb really hard, so Nat Beast plus any negates, really, is enough to win game 1 against them. Game 2, I drew Droll for turn, and it was my only going second card in hand, so I lost. It just happens. And then game 3, I opened Shifter plus combo, and he could not play through it. So yeah, overall went 5-1. I was really happy with the Dragoon. Like, it was a really good call. And Shifter, as always in this deck, overperforms. But I was nervous about not running any hand traps in the main. I was rewarded for it, though, because Droplet and Dark Ruler were glued to me. I was able to break boards and just steal games. I'm going to drop a combo video after this. I figure this video is already getting pretty long, so that'll be coming up next. Again, shout out to my team, Low Expectations, Burak and CJ. Hopefully we win the next one, but overall I had fun. And again, shout out to anybody that let me use cards.